Good afternoon, everyone. This is Erica Thomas, and just checking in. Just finished up my networking event, and I said that I would drop in, tell you a little bit about my marketing for today. So today, this morning, the first place I went to was a couple of dialysis places, left some brochures. One of the places that I went to, there were a room full of patients. There were at least 10 patients sitting in the waiting area. So you know what I did? I gave each and every one of them a card. I introduced myself. Hey, my name is Erica. I help seniors age at home by providing help with whatever they need help with, assistance with bathing and medications. We do all of that because, you know, I'm just talking to the patients in this area in the waiting room. So just being very specific of what we do. Gave all of them a card. The receptionist, she was very busy. So I just gave her a brochure and my pen. But initially, my VA had already reached out to her, checked in, let her know that we were coming in to make a visit. So my goal is to go back and to introduce myself at a later time. We just left her that information. But what I just want to say is, I went in, I was able to introduce myself to everyone in that waiting area. You just don't never know who in that waiting area you are a blessing to, because they may have been waiting for you to tell them about those services, and they may need those services right now. So also left some brochures and cards in the waiting area. The main event I had today was a networking event, and it was full of professionals, and we service the same clients, which is older adults. Now, the purpose of this networking event is to network, build relationships with these other professionals, right? So you go in just like any other networking event, you introduce who you are, your company. But the one thing that we sometimes fail to do is letting them know our specialty. What makes you different from the other home care agencies? Because in those networking events, there are going to be at least one or two other home care agencies. So how you introduce yourself, what's going to make them remember who you are and your home care agency than any other home care agency that is there. So I introduce myself, and I'll put another post, later, how you should introduce yourself. And they did a presentation. After the presentation, again, I gave out my cards to those who I didn't know, introduced myself, because the thing is, you're going to these networking meetings every month, but every month you're going in there and talking to the same people that you already know. Well, each time you go, you need to introduce yourself to someone who you hadn't introduced yourself to already. Okay, and then your next goal is to try to book a meeting with someone. So at least 2 or 3 people in this meeting I was able to book a meeting from. What's on your calendar? What you doing Wednesday? Can we meet up? Can I learn more about your company and what you do? So being able to go ahead right then and book a meeting with someone to network with and build that relationship with. But also there was a young lady there who I initially went to a facility last week. My VA had set up for me to go to this facility to visit, but we were missing each other, right? She wasn't there when I went, and I posted it last week. She wasn't there when I went, and then we were supposed to meet this week, but I had last week, but I had a family emergency I had to deal with. So we were never able to meet. Well, she was in this meeting, and she knew initially, because I did give out a door prize. So when they said Lily's helper, she knew, okay, this is Erica, who have been trying to reach out to me. So right then, she's like, right after the meeting, we need to get together. So that's like the second or third time she's heard my name. First is my VA calling, asking about it. Second, it was me going into that facility, and the third time was me actually seeing her. So now, she's starting to remember who I am. So just remember, it takes about 7 or 8 touches for someone to really lock in who you are, to build that relationship with, so that when someone who needs the services, they can refer you out. So just think, you can't go to one networking event, you can't go to one place and say I went marketing. You have to go several times, right? You got to go to these facilities several times to be able to build relationships. So when, you know, it may not be anybody right now that they know that may need your services, it might be 30 days from now that someone they know may need your services, but you are the first person that comes to mind when they run into a patient that needs your services, because you is who has been keeping in touch with them, following up with them, and in that networking group with them. So marketing is all about consistency. You know, faith without works is dead. You get out what you put in. So you can have all the faith you want to, but if you're not consistent, it's going to be very hard, you know, unless you've already built relationships with other professionals. But if you are new and you are trying to get clients, you got to get out, boots on the ground, marketing, getting to know people, building relationships with people, putting your brand out there. You know, your brand is just showing somebody your logo and your colors, but you know, we need someone to know your brand when they see it. And think about what separates you. You know, one thing, something I read the other day, it said if they were to remove your name from your logo, or your name from the colors, or just remove your name from your logo, or just have your colors, and would they know who you are and what you do? So for example, if your company focuses on fall prevention, you know, that's what you want to make sure people know. I help assist, I help seniors remain at home by helping with fall prevention. That's our specialty. We have a specialty program for fall prevention. That's what you need to put out there, because when they have a client who is post-stroke, who is afraid to fall, they're going to think of your agency. Oh, that's the young lady who has the fall prevention program. You know, they just don't know that from one visit. They are knowing that from continuously networking and talking to them about what you're doing, help with your other clients, what you've done to help those clients, what your program looks like. And that can be through getting them on your email list, sending out those educational posts, posting on your Facebook page, on your LinkedIn, Instagram. Those things are important for you to have to be able to build those relationships. So until next Tuesday, this is my tip for this week, is to just get out there, network, build relationships. When you go to a meeting, book that meeting from that meeting with at least 3 people. And another thing, when you're out marketing, my experience, you may be able to go to maybe 5 places in one day. By the time you get to your car, go somewhere else, get to your place, maybe 5 places. Well, I can go to about 5 places in one day. But when you're going there, at least get in front of, like, make it your goal to get in front of 5 people at that facility, if it's a facility. At this networking event, I was able to get in front of 20, 25 people to hear Lily's Helpers and what we do. So the goal may be 5 places, but the goal for the day may be 20 places. Perfect example, we went to the Dallas place. There was 1 place, but guess what? It was about 10-15 people. It was about 10 people in that Dallas's place. So I was able to get my company name out in front of at least 40 people to date in one day, in 3 visit places that I went to. So have a great day. I am headed home. I'm done for today. I probably could go to them 2 other places. This is why I said 5, because I already made 3. But it is 1:45, and my son has a game today, so I am headed home to prepare. So, and that's the best thing about being in business, is having that freedom. So if you are, you know, a home care agency owner, you're currently working full-time, that is fine, but make it your goal to get these clients so you can get the freedom that you deserve. So have a great day, and see you next Tuesday for another marketing tip.